What's up with it, world? It's your boy CBJ. You tuned in to Sleep Vision. I appreciate each and every single one of you guys. Thank you for checking me out. If you guys are new to the channel, my name is Sleepy J. I am a music producer, rapper, and audio engineer, manager, and all that good stuff. Anything with the music industry as an independent artist, I do that. If you haven't looked at my other videos, I do Spitverse Mondays, verses, things like that. I do anything that does involve music. But if you are here new and never been here, you're probably here because of my title says my experience with Fullsail University. Now, if you are here, I am not here to bash it. I'm not gonna tell you, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm gonna tell you my bad experiences, my good experiences with it. But I want to tell you my experience at Fullsail University. This is a video I've been putting off. I've been out of school for about 6 months now. I've been putting it off. Mostly because I've been trying to get myself into a situation to do things. And at this point, really what it is about to be 2019. I got some goals that I need to get accomplished. This is part of one of my goals to get it accomplished. I need to lean into YouTube a little bit more. But with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get into my Fullsail experience. So, I want to say I loved my Fullsail experience. I had fun while I was in there. It was stressful while I was in there. It was not all sunshine, rainbows, and unicorns. I failed some classes. I'm not gonna lie to you. I failed some classes. Some I tried really hard at. Some of them I didn't. First of all, I want to say the student that I was going into this in high school, I was never a very good student, other than whenever I was time to play football. When I wanted to play football, so the second semester, I always did really well to have a good enough grade that I could play football in high school. When it came to college, I did good enough when I was doing things that I wanted to learn. So when I went to my community college, I was learning about radio and learning how to mix and things like that. Did really good and then I did really good then. And then as time went on, I started losing interest, started saying, you know what, I want to lean into doing my music. For those of you that don't know, I consider myself a vet in this music industry. I've had record label deals. I've done a lot of shows. I've done hundreds of shows from St. Louis down to Texas, down to wherever I could get a show. I was doing them. I've made some money. I've lost some money. Never made a whole lot of money. I mean, I never, whatever it was. It's a music business. You know how it goes if you're in it. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'll tell you that about another time. My Fullsail experience. So, after putting about 10 years in the business, I was like, well, I feel like I've hit the wall here in St. Louis. Got a few connections in Texas, but, music business. We need to know people all over the world, all over the U.S., all over the country, wherever we can meet somebody that could get me a show, that get me a new song placement. Whatever the case is, I needed to get to know some more people. I always wanted to finish. I wanted to go back and get a degree. A lot for myself. Mostly for my mom, because I feel like she always wanted kids to graduate from high school and college. She never had a college degree. I don't think it was something for her. She was an immigrant to this country, so that's again another story. But because of that, I decided I was gonna go back to college. I was my fiance. She was great. She was going back to school. Well, she's been in school the whole time I've known her. She pushed for me to go, and she didn't even know that I looked into going to Fullsail. I got suckered into it, first of all. I was on Facebook. I seen an ad saying, like, how would you like to make, I don't know, something like $50,000 a year as a music producer? Well, me being a music producer, fuck yeah, I want to make that kind of money. So, I go ahead, I click on this link. Next thing I know, I'm on Fullsail website. Now I'm sitting here like, I really don't want to do it. But I'm starting to poke around. And I see their programs. They say, for a bachelor's degree, it's 2.5 years, I think. I was like, well, 2.5 years really ain't that bad. And then I'm looking at the associate's degree. 1.5 years. Really not that bad. So I'm like, all right, maybe I will. I'll at least get my associates. I could always go back and get my bachelor's, So I'm on there, I'm talking, I talk to them. They call me up, they want to have a conversation with me. They talk me into it. They're like, check this out. You get 3 weeks, come into the school, do the online course. As long as you have a computer to get the online course, because you're not doing any, you don't get your Fullsail box that everyone sees. Like, that's the big draw. When you see on the Fullsail website, you see there, oh, you get your audio box, and it's, comes with your MacBook and your keyboard or camera, whatever the case is. Whatever course you're in, they give you specialty project tools that they give you that you pay for, but it's part of the course. You're gonna need it. You're gonna have to work with it. So they lured me in, said 3 weeks. You take the class. If you don't like it, just drop it. No harm, no foul. You're good to go. So they set you up kind of for an okie doke, because the 2 classes they put you in when you first start up are super easy. They're about scheduling your time and finding your passion and showing you how to have fun while what you're doing. So it's pretty easy. Then you start getting into a little bit of the harder classes. You get into English and all that stuff. But it's all fun for the most part. The great thing about what they do is one class per month for the most part. A few times you'll have 2, maybe 3 classes, but one of them is the bulk of the work. You're going to do more work in one class than the other ones. The other ones you might be doing maybe reading a lot, or you got to read a lot of this work progress report type thing for a whole month. That you at the end of the month you just click that you've done it. You take a quick quiz about it, and then you get your grade for that class. But the bulk of the other workload was being done in a whole other class, whether it was English or whatever the case was. So, I do it. After my first 2 classes, I'm sold. I'm in. Let's do this. Told myself 2.5 years. Really, worst case scenario, I'm still in the same place that I'm at now. Now I got a degree. At least my mom's happy. I can, maybe get a little bit more money whenever I go find another job, because now I at least have an education behind my name now. So I start down this path. I come in to Fullsail doing music production. Now, music production and audio production, they run very side by side. The whole time you're in there, at least in my experience, for the most part, those classes are identical all the way until at least halfway, or at least through the first year. The second year, you start to break off, because now you're learning little fundamental different things. So this worked out in my favor, and you'll see why in just a second. So I was in there for music production, because when I went in, it's I already know how to work, Pro Tools, and I already know how to work all the DAWs, digital audio workstations. I know how to work those. They all pretty much run the same. You just figure out the ins and outs on different ones. But I didn't really want to be interested in it. I wanted to come in. I wanted to be a music producer. I want to know how to read music. I want to know what it means to transpose something. I want to know how to hear something by ear and be like, oh, you're using that in the G chord, or a G minor, or an A minor, whatever the case was. That's what I wanted to know. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be super smart on that music tip. And so I did that my first year smooth sailing. I didn't have no problems. I think I failed 1 class. I'm pretty sure I only failed 1 class. And that 1 class that I failed was fundamentals of music. I don't know. It was music theory. The fundamentals of music theory. Whatever their first course is for music theory. I've never taken any music classes ever in my life. All my music production up until that point, 10 years in the game, rapping, producing, managing, all that stuff, I've never taken a music class. I've done everything off of feel, sound, learning on the job. So I didn't know music theory. I didn't know what an A note was, a minor note, I didn't know a C scale, none of that. I had an idea of what a C chord was, but I didn't really know until I got into this class. So, with all that being said, it was difficult. I did not know what I was doing. At this time, I do have my launch box that Fullsail provided me. And I'm learning, but I'm not learning fast enough, because again, each class is only 1 month. That is 4 weeks to learn stuff that people have started learning back in middle school, high school. Me, I'm coming in as a grown adult, never looked at a music note, never played one key. I've played on some DAWs, and I thought I was making music, using mostly the C chord, because that's the only chord that I knew how to do. And I never really produced a whole lot prior into that, as far as for my own beats. I would coach people in writing songs and working through songs, but never actually constructing a song beat wise and all that stuff. So with all that being said, my music theory class was hard. I failed my music theory class. So I had to retake that class. I learned, though. The next time I took it, studied, drilled myself, I worked hard, I passed it. All right, so moving on. That was fine. I don't think I failed another class until I got to music theory 2. No, I take that back. I failed an English class too. I failed an English class because I took it for granted. I just genuinely believed that it was going to be an easy class for me. I wasn't, prepared for it. So that was my fault, no one else's. But again, going into the next year, everything's smooth sailing. I get into music theory 2. Music theory 2 was a lot harder than music theory 1. They start talking about, inversions and first inversions, second inversions. They start talking about, just different music theory terms and things like that. So it was a lot more difficult. So I failed it. They put me, but I was close enough to passing it. No. First time I failed it, it was just a horrible fail. So then they put me in it, and again, immediately. But now I'm prepared. Now I'm like, no, I got this. I'm not going to fail it again because I know what I just failed. So take the class again, and I was so close to passing it, but it still wasn't close enough. It would have been a very low grade for me to pass it had I passed it. So I failed it again. They put me in another class because I was close enough to passing it that they were like, okay, you go to the next class. Well, I failed that class too, which was audio workstations, I think it was. Failed that class. Got my ass kicked again because they're asking me stuff about the class that I just failed. And I didn't do very good. I did so bad in this class that I actually told myself, like, you know what? I'm not even going to try. And that was like in week 2 because I just got my ass kicked that bad in the first week and a half. I was like, fuck week 2. Fuck week 3. They sent me an email saying, hey, you're going to get kicked out of class if you don't actually come back and check in, which I knew I wasn't coming back to check in because I was doing bad. I did go back. I checked in just so I wouldn't be kicked out because I still wanted to graduate. I just knew I wasn't going to pass that class. With that being said, they put me in another class. I don't remember what it was, but it was an easier class, something that I could handle. I passed it, no problem. They said, all right, guess what? You got Music Theory 2 coming back up. You need to, buckle down and do what you got to do. I talked to my liaison. My liaison, was like, hey, you started out doing really well. What's going on? I tell him, like, look, I've never done music theory. He's like, well, music production is going to have a lot more music theory. Are you sure you want to do this? And I'm like, yeah, man, I don't want to take the easy road. I want to be music production. Audio production, I can do that in my sleep. I knew this. I've done it. And so me being stubborn, I said I'm going to take the class again. Failed it again. Now I'm starting to get down on myself because now it's my third time taking this class. Now my liaison calls me back again. He's like, hey, what happened? I thought at this point, I'm starting to get frustrated. I'm getting tired. I'm getting wore out. Like I've been, at this point, I'm almost 2 years in. And this last year, I failed about half of my classes. It was tough. I was getting down on myself. So I had to come to an executive decision. I'm talking to my liaison, and I talked to my fiance, and we're talking. And I just decided, you know what? At this point, I just want to graduate. I can always go back. I can always learn more. So, talked to my liaison one more time. I was like, how about this? How about I switch to because my liaison knew that I knew about audio production. He was like, you just want the degree. It's not, you can come back. He kind of put the seat in. I started thinking about it at this point because, like I said, I can't pass this fucking class. This Music Theory 2, I've taken it 3 times. I can't pass it. So I'm getting down on myself. He says, all right, what do you want to do? You got to make a decision. So I said, all right, switch me into audio production. So he puts me in my next class, which I did all right. I passed that class. He sends me all the paperwork. I had to file it, for me to transfer. I get some more new equipment because audio production is slightly different. So most of the stuff was the same, but I I got some new monitors and things like that. Maybe a couple extra microphones. But I went ahead and did it. And I did the switch because I just wanted to get the degree. At the end of the day, I didn't want to put in all that time, spend all the money that you spend getting into this program and not graduate. So I went ahead, I switched to audio production. Now, I didn't realize it at the time, but I think I told myself, get the audio production associate's degree just to get the degree and get out. You can always go back, get your bachelor's. Because at this time, like, I'm in jeopardy of being kicked out of school for taking too many classes, not for taking too many classes, but for not passing enough classes fast enough. So, and my GPA is starting to tank. Like, I'm starting to go down. So, I make the decision. I go to audio production. Now I'm in the audio production class. Well, again, most of these classes are still side by side. So it took, I think, a month or two. Maybe, I think it took me 2 months to actually fully get switched over. Because, like, 1 month I submitted the new information to transfer the classes to audio production. Then they had to send me my new stuff. So it took me about 2 months for that to be done. Anyhow, so now we're into year 2. So now we're getting closer to me being done. But now I look, and I only have like 3 classes, and I'm gonna be done. I'm done. I am finished. At this point, I'm fanatically ready to be done. But guess what? I still had music theory 2 again. But this time, talking to my fiance, she's like, "We're gonna get you a tutor if we have to. We're gonna get you to pass this class." So I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna let this class get the better of me. I gotta take it again. I'm going to kick its ass. But in the meantime, like, I think I had like my Christmas break. I did another class, and then I got back into it like in early February, I think it was. But I kicked its ass. I took every note I could take. Because the problem that I had was when I called to the school and said, hey, I need some help. And the last time that I took it, and the third time that I took it, I need some help. I'm not understanding. They were, sorry about that. The school says, well, we don't have any tutors. So you gotta either get your own tutor or what do you need help with? Like, nobody really had anything. Teachers weren't really helping me. Teachers were saying practice. That's all they could tell me was practice. Well, practicing wasn't working for me. I actually, when I went to go take it for the 4th and final time, because I was like, I'm not taking this class again. I'm not gonna be kicked out of school. I'm gonna pass finally. And I was prepared to get I figured if I failed it one more time, I'll get a tutor. Fuck it. What do I have to lose? At this time, so on my 4th time, I wrote down every fucking note, drew every fucking every kind of note I could take. All my old tests that I could print out, I looked at them, I read what I got wrong, reread them constantly. Like, I was studying. I really did the studying. I did the work. And it's funny because now I know what I was doing wrong. And actually, I was talking to another liaison, not my normal liaison. And he explained to me what the inversion was. The first inversion, the second inversion were. And I'm not going to explain it because it might be difficult if you don't know what I'm talking about. But he explained it to me in such a simple way. And once he said it, I was like, oh my goodness. I wish I would have known this weeks ago. And they told me about a website, which gave a lot of information, which they tell you about it at the beginning of the course, but I did not pay attention to it until the end in the last minute, and it wasn't worth it. So now that I have these 2 tools, I'm like, boom, I'm zoomed in, I'm focused. Bam, no problem. Pass that class, flying colors. I think I got to be in that class at the 4th time around. But yeah, so the course was hard, even though I still had to take it again in audio production when I thought I was done with it as in the classes. Yeah, all that to being said, my Fullsail University journey was not easy. I worked hard for it. Met some really cool kids along the way. I'm in contact with maybe one. I try to be in contact with a few other people, but at the end of the day, all I can do is reach out to them. They're not really responding to me at this point. Maybe sooner or later they will. But I try to keep in contact with some people. But overall, the school, I had a great time. The school still calls me from time to time to see what I'm doing. I tell them about my podcast. I tell them, working on, music locally and things like that. And, they as an alum, they have a website for you to go to whenever you graduate, and they got a bunch of job listings of people that are looking for Full Sail employees or Full Sail students or former students that might be able to get a job with them. So they give you a lot of good leads, but you got to be a part of that grind. I'm not really a part of that grind. I'm really focused on my independent music stuff, focusing on my YouTube, focusing on my podcast, focusing on producing other people in my area, getting ready to try and relocate soon. But that's my Full Sail experience. I had fun. It was hard. It wasn't a joke. If you're gonna go in there thinking it's gonna be easy, it's not. I think it was worth it. I've learned a lot. I feel like I know more about what I did, more than I did when I went in. My only regret is that I switched from music production to audio production, but again, I wanted to get the degree. I'm toying with the idea of going back to get my bachelor's because I was almost done. I think I got like 5 or 6 more classes left in music production. So now that I have a degree, I can go back, and I think it resets for my time that if I fail a couple classes, I'll be okay. But I was out of chances before that. I think I could have failed one more class before they would have kicked me out. But I was really on the brink of being kicked out. So when I finally graduated in May, I was like, I'm done. I don't want to do this no more. But I had fun. I think it's worth it if you go into it with the right intentions of learning something and networking. That's what I can emphasize for you to do. If you guys don't, there's a handful of people, like I said, from Full Sail, whether I went to school with them or not. We have a bond. I connect with them on social media and things like that. Yeah, that's my Full Sail story, guys. I hope you guys like it. I am sorry if I got rambly, if I went too far off on anything. Hopefully you guys like that. If you guys want to know more, if you guys want to know in particular, you can comment. You can, hit me up on my Twitter. You can hit me up on Instagram. Whatever the case is, reach out, contact me. Let me know what you want to know. I'm glad to talk to you guys about it. I got more videos coming if you guys don't know. I'm going to start vlogging 2019. I got showing you behind the scenes of the stuff that I'm working on. I got a bunch of things in the works, guys. I know I keep saying that I got things working, and I'm getting used to working. I'm not used to sitting here looking at the camera talking to you guys yet, so that's why I get rambly or I get into these tangents. This year, I got Sleep Talkin podcast that I'm gonna bring to YouTube with video, audio for both. I'm gonna be vlogging or video blogging. Me working on beats, me in the gym, me doing things like that. My day-to-day stuff, it's for 2 reasons. One, I want to see how far I get in a year's time, but I also want to see it's to help myself be accountable, So I think for my next video, I want to do like a goals for 2019 or something like that. But with all that being said, guys, it's been fun. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe if you like what I am doing. It's your boy Sleepy J. I'm sending you nothing but peace, positivity, prayers, positive energy, light, good vibes, all that good stuff. Until next time, take it easy.